Welcome back, everybody. Just before the break, we were, of course, taking a look at some of the highlights there between Titans and Violet's Paarl. Clubs have been playing their friendlies. Let's take a look at some of your friendlies results then that came in this past weekend. These are the shared friendlies, so the clubs that sent us their scores. Rocklands and Retreat draw there. Scottsdene 31 points to 10. Hands and Hearts went down to Van der Stel 28-12. Lower Paarl with a win over Young Peoples, and then a draw for Peniel Villages and Vineyards, 19 all. Hamilton's with a win over Brackenfell. Albion's with a win over Allendale, 15-7. Goodwood with just a 2-point margin win there over Gardens. And Eerste Rivier went down to Tygerberg, 41 points to 19. Jerome, looking at some of these scores, I mean, for example, Tygerberg and Eerste Rivier, two different leagues. And I think Faisal mentioned it as well last week, the opportunity for clubs to test themselves against teams in different league, and then for the top league teams, really an opportunity to test their combinations. But there's a good example of a club being able to play against a tough team.
Yeah, it is. And if you look at the score, it's not that bad. So it looked like yesterday was competitive. So yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, and Faisal, this result between Goodwood and Gardens, 7-5, very equal. But there really seems to be a rivalry building here between Goodwood and Gardens.
No, I think also, Gardens coming up, playing now in Super C and that there, it's a nice, good opportunity for them to see how they fare. I think, from Goodwood's side, there's always uncertainty. At the start of the season, very unpredictable in terms of what the season holds for them. So it's good to see them coming off, also with a win in there.
Yeah, this weekend is a big derby match again between Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene. That result there, Jerome, 28-12 win for Van der Stel and the Hands and Hearts. That three-way circle between Scottsdene, Van der Stel and the Hands and Hearts, that's going to be interesting to watch this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's I won't say it's a surprise, but I mean that margin is a bit big for, and I know Hands and Hearts been busy and they've been working.
Yeah.
Maybe they're holding some of their players back, or just, but that's a good result for Van der Stel.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of the fixtures coming up shortly, but Goodwood sent us some of their training footage as well. This is thanks to Dustin at Goodwood. Let's take a look. There we go, folks. Thanks, Dustin from Goodwood. And of course, head coach Shannon Mahoney, hands on deck there. Jerome, you seem to be happy with what you're seeing.
Yeah, no, I'm happy and glad to see. And like we were just talking now, I was just seeing the tackle backs on the field. It's good. And also one good thing that Shannon did there is like he actually put the tape around where the tackle height is, because we were talking about tackle height. So he's working on that. And also just like looking at the training session, the planning and what he's been doing. And it's also a typical example, a guy who did his level 1, he did his level 2. I actually assessed him last year on his level 2. So he's really one of the coaches that, that put a lot of work into the club.
Faisal, we move now a little bit to the admin side before we take a look at the fixtures. This past Monday, you had yet another leadership workshop, specifically on governance. Again, a big turnout, looking at the paperwork, criteria, and really how clubs need to operate at a club level in terms of making sure that they've got good administration. You must be happy with that, but a bit of distance to travel.
No, definitely. I think, you know, the workshops that we're having have been fantastic. The turnouts have been great. I think it really shows, you know, the online sessions that we're having and the feedback that we're seeing has been awesome. And I think the one thing is, you know, like we said earlier on, you know, the clubs, everyone is preparing and getting ready for the season. It's good to see the turnout. The administrators and guys are also getting ready, getting the houses in order, making sure that all the boxes are ticked. And I think, again, I think from the officer side, you know, it's just making sure from a compliance point that we're also ticking the boxes, you know, so it's helping people, JP.
The other course that you had this past Friday, and really we're seeing exceptional growth in your education courses. For example, your level 1 fitness course, I think that you had record numbers there the week before. But this last Saturday was, at least Friday, was the strength and conditioning course. Also, again, a big turnout.
No, again, hunger for knowledge, hunger to, you know, to improve. I think, again, it's showing that the clubs are also understanding the need. You know, it's not like we mentioned the roles and function. I think a lot of the clubs are giving out the responsibility to key people. So if somebody was to get involved, the strength and conditioning, I think was fantastic turnout. It happened there at our offices, and I mean, the hungriness of the guys, the enthusiasm, the involvement was great. So I think from our side, there's definitely a need for another course, S&C course.
Yeah, I was there myself. I went to pop in, and I must say I was very impressed with the interaction as well. Everybody was interacting and working out courses and figuring out different training programs, and it really looked like they were enjoying what they do.
Yeah, no, I think definitely. You know, the season is starting, 3-4 weeks time. The guys are up and running and getting going and at there. So, you know, chatting to Nazim, I think, you know, from our side, Club Rugby, there's been a request, especially for level 1s. I mean, I think he's inundated. He's working really hard. So definitely, I think S&C and level 1 is something that we're going to look at having soon.
Yep. All right, folks, more strength and conditioning courses coming up then. Let's take a look at your friendly fixtures that are coming up this weekend. Albions and Young Gardens. And Hamiltons. The Hamiltons 3rd and 4th at least then. It's Goodwood and Langa, Peninsula and Imikawi, St. George's, Kales River, Elsies Riviera Delft, Helderberg and Unimil, Franschhoek and Strand United. And then Silurians and Caledonian Roses, Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene, Villages in False Bay, Brackenfell and Durbell. Stellenbosch and, or at least Stelco and Riverstones, Hamlets take on Belleville, Peril United travel to Windmill United, Young Standards and Peniel Villages, or at least Young Standards and Blue Stars, Paarl Rangers and Peniel Villages, Retreat and Excelsior. Hamiltons take on Marties, Young Gardens take on Albions. And then it's Allendale and Young Peoples, Bishop Lavis and Silverleaf, Masi Pumulele and UCT, Kraaifontein Bellar, Vineyards, Lower Paarl, Wraithby and Northern, St. Monument Blakes, Kylemore Busy Bees, All Saints and Strand. So we've got a full house of friendlies. Jerome, are there any that jump out for you? I'm pretty sure you're going to go straight to the Villages False Bay game.
Yeah, Villages False Bay, that's definitely a derby game. I also think there's 2, Brackenfell, Durbell.
Yeah, there's another one.
Also there.
Yeah, and Hamiltons and Marties.
Hamiltons and Marties, also a good one, in Kales River and St. George's.
Yeah.
So quite good games.
Faisal, yeah, you wanted to say something?
No, I also wanted to say, I think that the big one there also is that Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene. I think,
Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene?
We touch on the score later, but I think when it comes to Derby, it's a different ball game. And I see there's one that you don't have on there. I think there's also that Primroses against Collegians.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so there's, if you look at the fixtures, there's pretty much quite a few derbies and stuff that's taking place this weekend.
All right, for me, one of my eyes also catches there is All Saints and Strand. because that's right in the Helderberg Basin, and both those teams are going to be going, well, they'll be going as hard as possible. Yeah. All right, folks, also look out for the derby. Well, we're beginning to think that it's a derby, although they're in different leagues. Maisi Phumelele and UCT, they seem to be building up quite a relationship there. But yeah, it's going to be a cracker house full of friendlies this coming weekend. Really look out for a lot of big games. Look out also there for Hamlets up against Bellville. Yeah, Hamlets and Bellville. St. George's and Kales River, I think, Jerome, is one of the big ones as well that you mentioned. All right, Jerome, your plans for the weekend?
Yeah, look, there's, again, so many games. Hope to get to 1 or 2 that's close by. But, yeah.
Yeah, and Faisal, you guys have got your hands full with all the admin and running around club to club.
Yeah, no, it's the last week of the safeguarding. So the clubs, there's a few of them that haven't done it.
Yeah.
Encourage them to make sure they do it this weekend. Yeah, there's some big games like you mentioned this weekend, and I think from our side it's also the start in preparing our, for the fast and that day. Many of the clubs and that day wishing, many of the Muslim clubs also well during the fast and that. So it's going to be a long and tough season, and looking forward to it.
Well, it's exactly what we love to talk about every week, is all the action in Western Province Club Rugby. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us this evening. And don't forget the safeguarding course. I think it's this Thursday at 8 p.m. If you're out there, make sure that you not only are doing the safeguarding course, but also spreading the word on safeguarding awareness. Very important and not negotiable in sport in South Africa. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. A fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.